Santa Marina for a couple of reasons. One, to drop off our friends who were heading out, and stayed an extra day because I got 2 new house batteries. Our 3-year-old AGMs were not holding a charge, and I don't know why, but we needed them, so I got 2 new ones. Maybe one or both will be covered under a prorated warranty, we'll see. I didn't film any of that whole thing, but they were heavy, 168 pounds each. Luckily, North Harbor Diesel gave me a guy to help me. Those days of doing things like that by myself are over, I think. Have done it way back in the day, but don't want to hurt myself, because that would make things no fun. Anyways, we're going to go off to the islands, and then once we go there, we're going to tomorrow, we're going to check into Canada, and then start moving our way north. And so here we go. So we've had some success finally. It did take a few days, but the starter exploded out of the container, as you can see, all the dried stuff that has happened here, and that's what we're looking for. I put it in the refrigerator to calm it down, so I can to the point where I can get to it and feed it again. But we're at the point where we can actually bake with this. But I'm going to go in a little bit larger container, even though it's far bigger than what we need, because I'm only going to be able to make a really small loaf here. But I don't know, I think I'm just growing up in the commercial end of things. Bigger is always better. So I'm going to go into this little plastic container. You don't need to use a glass jar. In fact, I know a lot of people that use the glass jars and then they drop them and they break, and then of course you don't want to use it because you get some glass in there. Plastic really is the way to go. And in fact, in the bakery we use plastic a lot bigger than this, but that's what we've used. So I am going to add just a dash of water. Again, we're doing nothing by weight like I would normally do at home. We're winging it, but yeah, that's part of the fun. And then I am going to take my starter out, pour it in there. Gonna have to wash this whole thing. Look at that. So you can see some of the development is done here. Remember, we just started with just dried starter and flour and water. We really only need a little bit of this. I'm gonna try to get as much as I can, but it only needs a little bit, and it's gonna grow from there. And then I'll use another spoon because it's gonna be a mess. And I'm gonna add some more flour. As far as the bugs that are in the starter, this is what they eat, you know, the sugar's in here. And we're gonna mix it up. As you notice, I'm not doing any measuring. We're winging it, and that's all right. What do you think the gold miners did during the gold rush, right? They did what they could. So I'm mixing it up. I'm going to make it a little tighter than this. Right now it's more of the pancake batter, but I'm going to mix it in so that it gets incorporated completely, and then add a little bit. I'm doing everything again, just winging it. This is just regular all-purpose flour from the grocery store, nothing fancy. So, boat sourdough, which is nothing fancy. So at one point, hopefully, on one of the later videos, we'll make some bread. Well, here it is. And that's our culture. In fact, I'm going to even stiffen it up a little bit more. I like a stiff starter. Normally at home I do 50% hydration starter, which is far less than the normal home baking crowd uses, but was what was used in the traditional San Francisco bakeries. It was a lot stiffer starter. And there's advantages. We won't go into all that right now. But there's advantages to that. And here we go. And we'll let that sit out and develop. And actually by tonight, I'm expecting this thing to be up to the top. And soon we'll make some bread. Well, good morning from Westcott Bay. We had a good night last night. That's one of our favorite anchorages. It's nice and shallow, so you don't have to put out a lot of chain. It's pretty open, lots of space here.
Place to take Bailey to shore.
A good place to take Bailey to shore. This trip that's been an important thing. Always constantly getting the dinghy down, let her go. So we're going to be making breakfast, and then the plan after this is to go to Bedwell Harbor, check into Canada, stay a night at Poets Cove, very nice place. We'll show you all that. And then provision in Ganges next day, and hopefully right now it's looking for Monday morning, looking good to cross the strait. So we may go over to Gibson's, or at least something on that side, get across there while the weather's good. And you can do this. We're making up.
Basically, we're just using up all the leftovers from
all the leftovers,
and this stuff we can't use or bring to Canada.
So pork belly hash from Dad's Diner in Anacortes, along with some scrambled eggs. But as Amy brought up, always check with what Canada allows to come in. It can change when things like the avian flu are happening, or whatever the latest thing is. But want to make sure it's all been bought from the store and still in its original packaging. That will help. But again, it can change by the day. In fact, coming back into the U.S. last year, the rules changed from 1 month to the next. So we actually lost some 2-day-old marinated chicken that we were going to cook up, but they wouldn't let us take it and bring that back in. So there went that.
2-day-old makes it sound nasty.
Yeah, 2-day marinating, I should say. Yeah, that's true. So, well, breakfast should be served, and we can leisurely start heading over. It's not a very long run. We've got maybe about an hour or so to over to Bedwell, taking our time, and check in. We'll let you know how that goes. Just weighed anchor here in Westcott, and I want to show you guys something. When you do come in here on the days that crabbing is open, it gets really ugly in here. You would not want to come through here in the dark. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it. As we get closer, we're able to get a few more shots, but I'm going to be running the gauntlet here, hoping that everybody is using weighted lines. So if you crab, make sure you use weighted lines. Floating poly lines, don't even get me started. Here we go. It's going to be running a slalom course. Apparently it's a pretty popular crabbing area. So, here we go. Alright, we're just on the north part of Spiden Island. We're going to go through John's Pass at Stewart Island. Cut through the middle, a little shortcut. Never been through there before, but it looks really nice. Plenty of water. There's some rocks at the beginning you've got to keep your eye out for, but all shown on both Navionics and our regular Garmin chart plotter. And otherwise, it's a real nice cruise, and we got some scenic shots going through the pass.
On John's Island, there's a camp for boys and girls 9 to 16 years old that's been in existence almost 90 years. And it's called Camp Nor'Wester. And they learn outdoor skills and all the things you do in a traditional summertime camp.
Flag on. We'll have this flag on there until we are officially checked in. Ramp to Cove Resort. Over here is the customs check-in. Plenty of space at the dock, and walk up to the phones and use the phones. It can take up to 30 minutes, but today was maybe 5 minutes wait time, no problem at all. So welcome to Poets Cove, Bedwell Harbor. We're working now, going to finally make the dough. Our starter is looking great. Look at that. Smells good. And again, going to have to wing it as far as the measurements. So I'm going to go 1 cup of flour in here. That's a half a cup. Another half a cup. 1/3 cup of water. We're going to about a tablespoon of some salt, approximately. See if we can get it to go. And there we go. And a dollop, which is not very scientific, of the starter. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. For good measure. And we're going to stir that up. Make a dough ball out of it, and then we're going to cover it and let it sit for several hours and do our first bulk fermentation. And we'll see where we go. So we're just about ready to leave our overnight stay at Poets Cove. It's a really nice resort and well worth the stop here.
Yeah.
Nice restaurant and pool.
The pool, you have to talk about the pool.
The pool's warm. If you're looking for a really warm pool that's in the range of a hot tub, it's right up your alley. A little better for night swimming because it's a little cooler outside, but yeah, it's at about 100 degrees. And there's also a hot tub.
I would say
too.
Even 101 or
maybe,
it was but it felt great because boating can be hard. You're kneeling down, you're up and down,
lifting up batteries.
Yeah, it's
Still sore from that one.
It felt great to go soak in the pool.
Yeah. So yeah, they got a nice little market, little store, I guess it's a little bakery.
I think you're going to show something about that.
Yeah, we got some video of that.
Yeah, we had a nice cocktail and hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah, the poke nachos are always good. They're interesting. Some calamari.
And just a nice little marina.
So now the plan is to go up to Ganges, anchor off there, and provision for the trip across, and go from there.
Yeah, it looks like we have a good weather window the day after, or tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. So we're going to take that weather window and cross the strait. So we'll keep you up to date on that.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.